guys, so I'm going to do a quick 5-minute race in ACC at Alton Park, and the reason I'm doing this is because I've been doing a lot of offline racing over the last couple of weeks, trying out different sims or whatever, but I thought I'd bring it back to my own familiar Assetto Corsa Competizione, just to show kind of how good the racing actually is here. The AI in this game are absolutely brilliant as well. Driving physics are really nice also. So yeah, let's get on with it. Oh, what a bad start. Driving physics in this game and the laser scanning of the tracks, you can feel absolutely everything through the steering wheel, every little detail. Definitely noticed the aero wash from being behind this car. The Audi normally grips a little better than this, but yeah, you can definitely feel it when you're behind the car, like the aero balance just completely goes. Shit. Yeah, so this is yeah, it's one of those sims that requires a lot of concentration, just because there's so much going on. And in this particular grid, I've got GT3s and GT4s on the grid as well, so it's just adding to the immersion really. And the cool thing about Assetto Corsa Competizione is that you can do like Championship Series, British GT, European GT, of course, and you also have the option to run mixed grid, so you can run like what I've done here, GT3 and GT4, but you can also mix in like, you know, the M2 CS, which is basically like a touring car. You can throw in some of the Lamborghini Super Trofeos, and
Gary, we've just cut the track.
Ferrari Challenge Evo, any of the Porsche Cup cars, whatever you want basically. Create your own mixed grid of your choice really. It's a lot of fun, this game. Really like the driving, kind of driving dynamics, the physics of it. Plenty going on with the force feedback, and yeah, just nice, just really nice. Really good kind of GT3 experience.
We're halfway home, we're okay on fuel.
Trying to be mindful of where the bumps are. It's a very bumpy circuit, Alton, and you really notice it in ACC. I will say, like let's say the realism or the quality of the laser scan, like on these tracks, you really do feel every little detail.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
This is a tough race for sure. Oh shit. A little bit unstable on brakes. And on bumps.
B2.
I think I'm closing up a little bit in this middle sector. Or it's the first sector rather, but losing it then in the middle sector. And maybe a little bit in the final sector as well. Sims where you've got to be patient getting the power down. You cannot just open it up, and that curve there on the outside, by the way, if you put one wheel fully over that, yeah, gets very interesting. The car basically just rides the curve in the centre, and yeah, all sorts of funky stuff can happen from there. Yeah, this is the thing I like about ACC. Like, anyone that follows the channel will know that ACC is my main sim, like for like league racing and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's the actual kind of how engaged and how engrossed you get with just the physics of the car, the actual control of the car, trying to chase down those couple of tenths that probably don't even exist, but we believe they exist anyway. Shh. I get the better exit. No, it's getting pushed wide. There you see that snap. Yeah, the detail through the feedback in this sim is probably among the best out there. Other sims do it really well also, but just there's a lot of detail and a lot of useful detail. Everything it tells you is actually going on with the car, and it doesn't feel canned by any means, because how you can tell if it's canned is you feel a lot of shit going on and the car doesn't react to it too much. But with this, everything you feel, everything you see is actually happening. That's a sign that the feedback of any sim is hooked up to the physics in a really, really good way. Salton Park. It's one of the favourite tracks among sim racers, isn't it?
Great drive, that's a podium.
D2, well managed. Bring it back home safely.
Yeah, excellent track. I have to say, Alton never fails to disappoint. Just fun to drive, isn't it, Alton? It's one of those tracks.
Clear to your right.
Let's have a quick look at the replay after the victory celebration. So yeah, this is what you can see as well within ACC, like the GT3 result, GT4 result. You can see there's a couple of GT4s. Then you've got the overall, the Pro-Am, the Am, and of course the Silvers. But let's have a look at the replay of this. Let's just jump ahead. Yeah, and I think, like I've had up to, like, I think offline about 30 cars or something like that. Now you do need kind of a beefy system to run ACC, generally speaking, particularly when you're racing against AI, because the AI I think are using maybe 1 or 2 cores of the CPU, so it's not, like all games are like this by the way, so it's not like that the optimization, the threaded optimization, the CPU can be used too much, because I think obviously physics in sim racing are, things have to happen in a sequence, you know, so you cannot have the CPU multi-threading all of that shit at once. It just, I don't think it would work. But yeah, again, a game developer, feel free to correct me, but I think that's why on larger grids sometimes the frame rates can drop a little bit, not through fault of the GPU, but just because the CPU load goes so high. And I mean, I have an RTX 3090, so you know, in some scenarios with full grids against AI, I will drop frames. Not too many now. Like I normally run at about 144 frames, but against a full grid of AI on some tracks and some conditions, like at Kota in the evening at sunset kind of thing, it will go as low as say 70 frames when it's a full grid crossing the start-finish line at the start of the race, for example. But like I say, you tend not to get that problem too much racing against humans online, because obviously there's no AI being ran, no physics being calculated and so on, so you get away with it basically. But yeah, I mean, I know, you know, anyone that's on this channel following the videos from Assetto Corsa to Automobilista, a bit of race room, and I tend not to cover ACC too much, which is strange really, because it's my main sim, and normally when I cover it, you know, races, and I don't talk about it too much, and maybe it flies under the radar a little bit. But when I first got into sim racing, Project 2 Cars was my very first sim on the Xbox way back when, maybe 2.5 years ago or whatever it was, during lockdown when I first picked up my Logitech and my Xbox and went mad with PC2. But after that then, I had an old gaming PC at the time that I used for flight sim, maybe a year previous to that, and I decided to download PC2 onto the PC. And the physics on the PC, by the way, just instantly felt better compared to the Xbox. Don't know whether it was in my head or not, but it felt better. Then I went for iRacing. Then I went for Assetto Corsa Competizione. And ACC instantly blew the other two out of the water. Like, and this was 2 years ago. From an actual driving perspective, the graphics were obviously better as well. And then, you know, fast forward a couple more years, I've upgraded my PC and my sim racing rig and all of that stuff. And now I actually race all of the sims, because, as I've always said, all of them have something good to offer. You know, whether it's AMS2, it's got great variety. I love the old Indy cars. Or Factor now has the British touring cars and a bit of everything really. And yeah, Race Room has its thing, like the World Touring cars are quite good, but when it comes to GT3, GT4 and all of that stuff, it's difficult to look elsewhere other than ACC. No sim is perfect, right? And yes, people will have their preferences in terms of feedback, how a car feels, how the driving experience is, right? And that's okay. That's okay. If you prefer how GT3s feel in AMS2 or Race Room or iRacing, whatever it is, and you want to race there, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Any reviews I do and any advice I offer is purely based on the actual feel, not what I'm a fan of, but just how it feels. And just because ACC is my main sim, by the way, doesn't mean I'm an ACC fanboy. Like, I mean, ACC is not perfect either. There's a couple of things that we could improve on as well, you know. No sim is perfect, but for GT3, GT4, that sort of genre, ACC is really good, and I think they've managed to hit that endurance kind of racing thing as well. Like, not only have they got the official SRO championships, but they've also got mid-race saves, and this is vitally important. If you want to do a spa 24 hours, go for it. Save after 1 hour, save after 12 hours if you want to, and come back then a day later or a week later and continue on the race. And this is what ACC also is able to do. It taps into endurance racing. It lets the user essentially race endurance cars as endurance cars, which is the benefit. You know, that's the whole idea. That's quite cool actually. There's my Audi in the background on the rear TV camera there. That's really cool. Yeah, like I say, it lets people actually access endurance racing in these endurance cars, which is something that, you know, I think if AMS2 done, and, you know, I think we'll probably tap into more of a player base than that. But yeah, hopefully this has given a bit of insight as to why I say the things I do about ACC in terms of how good it actually is when it comes to GT3, GT4, and here's the GT4s, by the way, just to touch on those. And I've done a video on the channel actually driving the ACC version of the Janetta, I think it was, back to back with the AMS2 version. So yeah, check out the video. I'll actually link that in the description. And I've also done a back-to-back test in the AMG. The same type of test, looking at the GT3 version in AMS2 and ACC around Spa-Francorchamps. So that will be on the channel as well. But yeah, I'll link both of those in the description, and yeah, give those a look. Yeah, guys, thanks as always for watching. I hope you like this video. I hope it's given you a bit of an insight as to ACC and what it can do. and what it has to offer in the sim racing world, because I think a lot of times people who may have picked it up before didn't get on with it initially, but it does have a lot to offer. I think if you persevere and allow it to soak into you, it does feel different than other sims, and in my opinion that's because the driving physics behave, careful not to say more realistic, right? It is more realistic, but the cars also feel a lot heavier because they are heavy cars. So make what you will of that. That's all I'll say. I won't say any more because I don't want to shake a hornet nest on that one. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and yeah, until the next one. Cheers.